Alright, timestamps exist in case you just want to skip forward, but I promise you, we're also going to go ×2 ×4 speed during the race as well. And yeah, I'll just let you know now. So, I wanted to save my races here, so you'll even see the animation, meaning this is the first time I've gone into it. But I promise you, what you're about to see is going to be very, 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 very bad. So, without further ado, as much as I would like to meme here, I'm actually low on time as well, so that's not the gold chip I want to use. Where is the gold chip? I think it's this one. So, yeah, 900 stamina, but I promise you, this is the best gold chip I've got. I can tell you some stories while we're going through, if I remember, all of the 50-plus gold chip runs I tried, but this is the most appropriate gold chip I have. I promise you, it's the most appropriate gold chip I have. And then we'll do our best. If I forget anything, I'm pretty sure this is, I mean, it's the only nice nature I did. I think this is the second. So, in 2 nice natures, I got an okay nice nature. It could be a lot better. But I am running 2 debuffers because I have to. I have to. Especially with the RNG I turned into. Now, obviously, to kind of counterbalance myself, and this is that the one I wanted to do? No, I don't think it's that one, right? Oh, it is that one. Well, I would have liked double, end closer debuffs, but that's not gonna happen, so off we go. Off I go. But yeah, to explain a little bit, if you want more backstory, Gold Chip didn't want to train. I mean, period, that's the end of the sentence. Not really much else to say on that. Gold Chip didn't want to train, whether it was losing the junior make debut, like 2 out of every 5 runs, or she just decided to back-to-back get a migraine, or she just decided to lock me out of a training, which actually that's the least of my worries. There are other things that went wrong during all of my gold chip runs. I think I only have like 25 TP recovery items at this point. I used over half, and so you're gonna see, especially if I run into stronger trainers, yeah, it's gonna be really, really bad for me. So as much as I love gold chip, hey, self-proclaimed gold chip main, by the way, boy, it doesn't seem like it, but a lot of that was RNG for me anyway, so pain happens. Now, I could just get lucky. At this point, we're here for the rewards as well. I'm not saying that I'm going to lose, but it would be nice to win as well. So let's see what happens. But otherwise, I could just get lucky and run into trainers that may not know as much. But even when I know as much, like, obviously everyone would be in a lot better of a situation. But when RNG says no, I think another part of it was actually just getting, I think out of all the runs I did, whether I used Guess Musume or not, I just didn't get long aptitude. I like that. There's nothing much else to say. Also, I'll switch to horizontal. I'll mention that later, but let's just get into the timestamp first. So, yeah, my training wasn't great. 50-plus gold chip runs, could not get long aptitude a lot. I think I got long aptitude only on 10% of the runs, whether I used Guest Musume with 2 to 3 star long or not, or my own Musume, which allowed me to continue training even past the 3 Guest Musume training. But obviously it's a lot better because my blue sparks were absolutely terrible. And then right after that was also getting straightaway Spurt. There were some runs where I even just threw in my SR Hishiyama support card and still didn't find it. I think only 2 runs out of at least the 10 I did with Hishiyama, I got straightaway Spurt. And among those runs, Gold Chip didn't make it to the end. Making it to the end too, there's some fitness. I knew what to do, but at this point, because I had the Gold Chip I had, it was really important that it's really important that I hit 1100, 1200 stamina. But if I do that, surviving the URA scenario was less likely for me. Now, at this point, yes, actually, no, that's not true. I'm not going to say what I was going to say. But anywho, as we sit here, Haru Urara, to kind of explain what's going on, also I was supposed to go 4 times speed, but to explain the existence of Haru Urara, she's there for sleeping line, mostly. If I had gotten more debuffs on her, sure, it would be nice, but that wasn't going to happen. So, Nice Nature is the other debuffer that I did raise, but I ended up not using for the previous Champions Meet. Here I decided to, did I even get straightaway Spurt, by the way? I don't think I did. So this is going to be real interesting. I also have to watch to see if my gold chip procs a lot of stamina recovery perks, because if she doesn't, if I miss a single recovery perk, we don't make it. So, or we don't get to go to our max speed. That is the more important part. So it is very likely I make it. If I had a bet, I would say I'm reaching Group B. So yeah, that was going to happen. Now, funny enough, again, I would like to actually see how I do against the Narita Taishin, but shrug. Essentially, I would have liked this gold chip to have 1100 stamina. I don't even remember what happened, because this is actually one of my first 5 to 10 gold chip training attempts that I did, so I don't even remember exactly what happened. I could probably show you the races. That'll probably happen at the end, but just to show you what the complete picture. And I know I've made some mistakes, either unconsciously or consciously as well, whether it's my decisions or otherwise, so shrug, right? Also we do see a Narita Taishin. Now, will it matter? It doesn't matter if the Narita Taishin has other stamina recovery perks, which at this point most people should know, but I guess we're about to find out, aren't we? So, as we take a look here, yeah, no sleeping lion, 1100 stamina. That looks about right. And then that's gonna mean I get absolutely destroyed. Oh my goodness. So we're about to find out, and I'm about to suffer a lot. So again, yeah, my stamina is the thing I was missing, but I think what happened here, which is what happens a lot too, is that I try to calculate how much stamina I can get during the second summer, and if Super Creek doesn't appear, she doesn't appear. So yeah, if Super Creek or McQueen does not appear during the summer trainings, I just shrug and go, well. And this is what I meant a lot earlier, a long time ago, when I talked about coin flips into coin flips. They're worse than coin flip if we're talking about odds, but essentially, again, I'm thinking about coin flips and how many I need to do, and I know there are at least 5 to 10 that I need to pass. The first, like for example, there's a coin flip chance that I get straightaway Spurt. There's a coin flip chance I get long S aptitude. There's a coin flip chance for me to get all the training that I want done. There's a coin flip chance for me to get, you know, at least 3 stamina perks, because if cooldown decides to not appear from Major McQueen's linked events, then sadness happens. I mean, there's not really much else to say about it. I guess another thing to mention is that, yes, I know I heard about Haru Urara in real life. That's another reason why I decided to use Haru Urara here for sure, but she also exists in this Champions Meet to deny Sleeping Line. Shrug! And then I hope for the best. Now, I think we did proc all 3 stamina recovery perks, so as long as we don't get hurt too much, I think I can get debuffed twice and be okay, although that's hoping for a lot. So, as we stand here and find out what's going to happen, as long as we don't get blocked too much, we could win, but I promise you, it's looking really, really, really bad. So, without further ado, we are going to see what happens to my face. I think also we'll see what actually happens, because it can go in either. Races at least always have a non-zero chance for you to win or lose, but the odds certainly are stacked against me, as you see me way in the back there. So, without further ado, I am going to figure out what's exactly going to happen. At this point, though, I'm just going to be training for the next Champions Meet anyway, so shrug, right? Yeah, I'm 4th there. So pain happens. I would have liked to run double ace, but I just didn't have the time and the luck. So shrug, right? But without further ado, so at this point, I'm gonna show you each round at least. I'll probably make a video on each round, but I promise you, it's not gonna look good. If I make it into Group A, Group B, then you know what probably happened. But otherwise, I'll explain if anyone is curious afterward. Otherwise, this is very, very painful. I promise you, the other gold chip runs did not go well. I did make decisions here and there, but I really should. There's a common training strategy that I like to use, where I just try to make the bare minimum and then work from there. Funny enough, I think I did have a gold chip that had long shot, but obviously that's not what you always want. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Basically, I'll lose to a lot of waifu trainers because of the way that I trained and what I actually just got in the end. Now, if I run into cool things, then maybe I make it out just fine, but we'll see what actually happens. Again, this is going to be very painful. At this point, we're just putting in filler here, but I'll wait for the timestamp before I go on. Another thing to note is that I think in a few of my gold chip training, obviously you're going to get acupuncturist at some point, but even going for the charm acupuncture, which, if for those who don't know, you have an 85% chance of succeeding that acupuncture, and I failed, twice out of 4 times, so 50-50 on an 85% chance. On top of everything else that can happen. Common example, I already said this, but junior make debut, losing the junior make debut, or not placing first, which for those who don't know, the junior make debut that's part of a goal race does grant you more fans. So tragedies can happen if you fail that. If you don't place first in that junior make debut and then you try to do another maiden race, if you place first, there's a chance that you still might need more fans, which already cuts into 1 or 2 turns in which you can train. And that 1 or 2 trains can essentially mean at least 50 to 100 stat points, really, even if it's early on, because you have to consider that the support points the support bond points that you can get or not are not being accumulated as you're spending turns resting, recovering from mistakes, so on and so forth. So that's a lot of what happened during my runs, and it's not great. Also, again, I was not watching the stamina skill procs for my gold chip, so here's hoping. I'm shrugging in real life and saying we hope for the best. And then I also have to proc straight away Spurt, which, as you know, well, actually, I think this gold chip has okay. Also, that vodka proc'd Breath of Fresh Air right before she needed to, so this is going to be a very, very interesting run. But yeah, for the last 2 races, I'll try to remember to set the races back to horizontal. Otherwise, as we sit here and suffer, boy, I can only do my best. Now, the weird thing is, if I reach Group B finals and place first, at least I get the title, but it doesn't really matter. I'm mostly here for the rewards and to see Gold Chip race. I was planning to just push Gold Chip anyway. I'm pushing Gold Chip into the next Champions Meet anyway, regardless of what anyone says, so it's going to be really, really interesting what happens. So as we sit here, I did want my Nice Nature to have more speed, and the reason for that is so that she can last long enough to... Yeah, so she can last long enough and pull ahead to use her skills, or her field of view skills, which, as you've noticed, I don't even have Late Surger Savvy, so... Yeah, these races are going to be very, 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 very painful. At this point, I probably should have used another gold chip, but I'm also just being purist here and just using the same Musume over and over and over again in the same Champions Meet. So I've made my decision. So if I had to guess, I think I should have mentioned this earlier as well. If I had to guess, I would assume my win rate is probably going to be at 30% tops, but really I want to say 25%, but if I had to put my chips down, I'm not going to rank myself that low, but it is going to be 30%, and that's also just directly connected to the odds of me proccing all 3 stamina recovery skills. Now, if I put on straight away Spurt on top of that, I really should just consider other things, but as I sit here, and yes, I'm also aware that the timing in which you queue for your Champions Meet races does make a difference as well, but as everyone decided not to use Sleeping Lion in my races, I mean, shrug, right? Pain happens. Oh my goodness. There's a Sleeping Lion, but I think this Narita Taishin has, 1100 plus stamina anyway, so it pretty much doesn't matter. Again, my gold chip needs to proc all 3 stamina recovery skills, or she is for certain... I think she's even certain not to get, because if I get debuffed, I'm sure I don't have enough stamina regardless. So it's really interesting, and there's a lot of bad things that happen. And another way to say it is I'm hoping that there are no debuffs, and then all the RNG lines up for gold chip. So in a way, I'm also doing 15% gaming. In a way, I'm playing gamble chip, even though gold chip is not a gamble on this. In this Champions Week, she's supposed to be the consistent, stable pick, but because of how my training turned out, and I didn't want to use any more TP items, or I pretty much pushed my time, even though I did 50, 60 plus gold chip training runs, this is the best gold chip. Well, it's probably not the best gold chip I have. If we're looking because you were looking at several things, right? If you're running into a lot of stamina HP debuffs, then yes, you would want a gold chip with more stamina like than I did, and just to survive. But at the same time, if you don't have enough speed, doesn't matter anyway. So if I have 900 speed compared to someone else's at 1000 speed, which is what we've been seeing a lot here, doesn't matter regardless, because I survive, but I don't run fast enough. Shrug. So yeah, again, I'm not gonna waste too much more of your time. We know what's going to happen consistently, but the interesting thing is what happens if we see a lot of good luck. But that depends, right? It really depends. Am I gonna proc straightaway Spurt at all? Again, I wasn't paying attention to my stamina recovery skills, so I'm shrugging here. And yeah, my Nace Nature is falling too far behind to properly use the All-Seeing Eyes, so probably need at least 200, 300 more speed on my Nice Nature, but I had to make do with what I had, because either I don't have an Ace or I have a debuffer, which obviously we know which one you would rather have, so shrug. Did I did not proc straightaway Spurt, did I? Well, this is going to be real interesting. So, without further ado, if I lose all 5 races, that would be a little surprising, but not too surprising. Shrug. We get cooldown, but that doesn't help our acceleration. What it does prevent, as may be expected, is that, as I do lose here, oh my goodness, it does stop you from just completely going kaput at the end of the race. But again, that doesn't matter when you need the acceleration or the top speed, top target speed that your Musume decides anyway. So, shrug. But if nothing else, losing all 5 times would be a good indicator of what's happening to me. I could switch things out, but at this point, I have my own rule of just sticking with the same 3 Musume. So, if I go 0% win rate, that would be something to see. But if nothing else, again, I'll show you at the end. If I don't make it to the finals, that'd be something to see as well. But there's actually a good chance that happens to me. So shrug, right? But yes, you did want at least bare minimum 1,000 stamina, but really 3 stamina recovery perks on top of that. So there's a fluctuation there. I'm not saying I'm the most knowledgeable on Musume, but I promise you, I'm well aware that this is not a great gold chip to be fielding for this Champions Meet. But shrug, right? So, although I have the speed advantage, I certainly do not have the stamina advantage. So let's just make sure we know. Is it? Oh, I am second favorite. I was like, where's second favorite? I just assume I'm not second favorite, or second or first favorite. But anywho, this actually might be an interesting one, because everyone else in here, well, at least the 2 Musume I checked so far, do not meet the stamina requirements. And if they don't meet the stamina requirements, they barely meet the speed requirements. Basically, if I don't proc all 3 of my stamina recovery perks, there's a chance I lose this as well. I'm shrugging in real life. Look at Mayano Top Gun doing her stretches. So, as we move on here, oh boy, this is going to be real interesting. Again, and this is on top of all the other RNG that has to proc during a race. Most prevalent example is being rushed. Another example is just the pace keeping, or the placement keeping of your Musume, whether she's an end closer or a front runner, but obviously more important for front runners. But pace chasers, late surgers, and end closers also are all jockeying for position up to the 50%, 66% point in the race. Yeah, again, here, I think my Nice Nature would have wanted more speed, because although she doesn't have enough stamina anyway, the point is that she's far enough ahead for her to use All-Seeing Eyes properly. Period. That's the end of the sentence. But as we stand here and look at our Haru Urara just participating for the fun of it, it's our gold chip that it's my gold chip that I'm really hoping. And then again, other RNG things getting blocked, uphills, downhills, particularly downhills when you want to proc the wits. Proc the acceleration based on your wits, is what I'm trying to say. But as I sit here, yeah, this is a me trying to make up with the Haru Urara, in case they're sleeping lines. But again, obviously, because a lot of us are usually knowledgeable trainers, at this point, a lot of Naruto Taishins threw out their sleeping line and just picked up the other 2 or 3 well, really just 2 stamina recovery perks at that point. So again, I'm shrugging real. Swinging makes throw cooldown, that's all I'm trying to say. And then getting 1200 stamina, but that doesn't matter if you have encroaching line anyway, or not, encroaching shadow anyway. But I mean, there's not really much else to say. I knew it was going to be hard if someone properly built their Naruto Taishin, or any other Musume as well. Again, a large part of it is due to my result in training, pretty much. There's not really much else to say. My training was not great. I can tell you more stories, though, which is really interesting, but as we stand here, I don't think we proc... Again, I'm just going to watch. This is the last race anyway, but I did not proc straightaway Spurt. that's gonna be a problem. So, as we run on here, yeah, this is... did we even proc? Again, I was not watching stamina skills, but if we didn't, I mean, that would explain why we're not speeding up here. We also picked a very low speed to try and speed up, but hey, straightaway spurt here, doesn't matter. I know we're not reaching the top max speed anyway, so... Shrug. Long S, straightaway spurt doesn't matter when you don't meet the base stamina requirements. Again, at this point, I really should just change my thing. That gold ship also lost their stamina, but it doesn't matter because I did not reach my top speed. So, yep, here we go. Pain happens. But yeah, everything could be improved upon here. Like, literally everything could be improved upon here. Everything can be improved upon here. But... off to the... at this point, again, I'm training for the next Champions meet. So yeah, without further ado, oh boy, this was painful to see. But again, I'm just gonna lock in for the... or not lock in, but I'm just going to focus on these three... on the 3 Musume I'm using. 2 debuffers, 1, and yeah, it's not really much else to see here. If I hit a 0% win rate, again, just gotta take it and move on. So... without further ado, not really much else to say. If you have anything to say, if you have any questions, I mean, I could just explain anything else, but I just want to say that in case anyone wanted to say anything, you know what to do. But I'm sitting here looking at my gold ship and being very sad. Again, when straightaway spurt doesn't come during an inspiration, which is where you actually want to get it from, on top of your, obviously, your long aptitude, but when they don't come, they don't come. And so I'm just here shrugging. I'm like, well, don't get either. And then when I do get them, I don't get enough stamina. As you've seen what happens when you don't have enough stamina, when you really don't have enough. But everyone was telling us that already. You didn't need me here showing you what happens when you haven't. But if you're curious, here you go. But without further ado, at least it was funny to do. Thank you for watching. I'm not going to take up much more of your time. Bye.